major news from Israel today was the confirmation tonight that Google is indeed purchasing the Israeli company Wayz for $1.3 billion. Wayz has been on sale the last couple of months with rumors that first Apple and then Facebook was going to purchase the Israeli startup company. Wayz declined the Facebook offer a couple of weeks ago when Facebook required that its key people move to California to complete development. Google, on the other hand, has extensive development centers in Israel and is more than happy to integrate Wayz into its larger development system here in Israel. The sale, which is the largest sale of a high-tech company of this kind, like I said, was for $1.3 billion. And Wayz, which is a social trafficking network, sort of is the best of what Israeli apps can do. Israelis seem particularly good at social type of apps. There's a sociologist friend of mine who said that's what Israelis know how to do. The successful sale of Wayz is in contrast with events in the last couple of weeks where the other Israeli startup, Better Place, the electric car company, filed for bankruptcy 2 weeks ago. Today there's a major competition between various bidders to buy various parts of that company and try to bring it back to life. It was a company that had great ideas but tried to go too far too quickly. Earlier this week, the Women of the Wall successfully carried out their monthly prayer service at the Kotel HaMaravi, the Western Wall. This was the first time it was done without any violence, under tremendous police protection. It's interesting how far things have come. 3 months ago they were arrested. Then the Israeli court system got involved and actually insisted the police protect them as opposed to arresting them. And that's what happened this past week. The status quo seems to be changing in many different ways. Another interesting survey came out today, actually, that 7% of Israelis consider themselves either conservative or Reform Jews. A great surprise for the official Reform and conservative movement, who does not seem to have nearly that many Israelis involved in their movements here in Israel. While all these things have been taking place domestically, the world outside remains in turmoil. Syria, the war continues, with once again Hezbollah and Assad's forces on the move and seeming to get the upper hand as they move northwards towards Halab and try to take control of that major Syrian city, also known as Aleppo. Meanwhile, up north in Turkey, fighting continues in the streets of Istanbul. Tonight, fighting has become fierce between the police and the demonstrators who refuse to give ground to the police despite water trucks and other attempts to push them out of the park where they've been holed up for the last week. And finally, in Egypt, a rather strange event took place in the last couple of days. Egypt is in a dispute with Ethiopia. Ethiopia claiming it wants to put a dam on part of the Nile that would cut down the amount of water available to Egypt. Egyptian President Morsi has effectively declared that Egypt would go to war to maintain the water of the Nile. This is Mark Schulman reporting from Tel Aviv. Good night.